First Contact and Deception. The Meridian Council's Grand Chamber fell silent as Supreme Commander Nyra Kex strode to the central podium. Her crystalline exoskeleton caught the light of 3 suns streaming through the transparent dome above, casting prismatic patterns across the assembled delegates. 2,000 representatives from the Meridian Federation's member species leaned forward in anticipation. Honorable delegates, Nyra's voice resonated through the chamber. Our expansion fleet has discovered a remarkable anomaly in Sector 847. The massive holographic display behind her flickered to life, showing a spiral galaxy with a pulsing marker on one of its outer arms, a planet designated as Earth by its indigenous species. Murmurs rippled through the assembly as the display zoomed in on a blue-green world. Nyra continued, her mandibles clicking with barely contained excitement. Initial scans indicate a Level 2 civilization, barely capable of reaching their own satellite. However, their planet possesses extraordinary concentrations of quantum reactive elements, materials essential for our next phase of expansion. First Speaker Thax, his serpentine form coiled around his ceremonial perch, raised his head. Commander Kex, what makes this discovery worthy of full council attention? We discover primitive worlds regularly. Nyra's optical arrays gleamed. The humans, despite their technological limitations, have achieved something unprecedented: global unity without external intervention. They've eliminated warfare among themselves, established a planetary governance system, and begun rudimentary space exploration, all while remaining remarkably unaware of the greater galaxy. The hologram shifted, showing human cities, their primitive fusion plants, and basic orbital stations. Their achievement makes them perfect candidates for Federation integration. Their unity suggests they'll adapt well to our guidance, while their technological level poses no threat to our control. Second Speaker Vren, her feathered crest rising with interest, leaned forward. Your recommendation, Commander. A standard first contact protocol, Nyra replied. We reveal ourselves gradually, demonstrate our technological superiority, and offer them Federation membership under our protection. Their resource-rich world and adaptable population will greatly benefit our expansion efforts. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, in a facility that didn't exist on any public record, Dr. Maya Patel watched the entire exchange with amusement. The Quantum Observation Array had captured every detail of the Meridian Council meeting, despite it occurring 30 light-years away. They'd bought it completely, she remarked to her colleague, Dr. James Chen, who stood beside her watching the multi-dimensional display. Operation Looking Glass is proceeding exactly as simulated. James nodded, his cybernetic eyes processing multiple data streams simultaneously. The surface deception is holding perfectly. Our quantum masking field continues to show them exactly what they expect to see: a primitive civilization barely reaching for the stars. Maya pulled up another hologram, this one showing Earth's true state of development. Orbital rings circled the planet, hidden by advanced quantum camouflage. Vast cities existed beneath the oceans and within hollowed-out mountains, their energy signatures completely masked. The moon's far side housed shipyards producing vessels that would make the Meridian Federation's finest ships look like ancient sailing vessels. Alert the Council, Maya instructed her AI assistant. The Meridians have taken the bait. Initiate Phase 2 of Operation Looking Glass. Throughout the solar system, quantum computers adjusted the elaborate illusion maintaining Earth's primitive appearance. For 3 centuries, humanity had hidden its true development, presenting a carefully crafted image of a young, unified civilization, while secretly advancing far beyond anything the Meridian Federation could imagine. In her private chambers aboard the Meridian capital ship, Nyra Kex reviewed the first contact protocols. Everything seemed perfect, too perfect. Yet her species' legendary intuition, which had helped build the Federation across 12 galaxies, sensed nothing amiss. The humans appeared exactly as a Level 2 civilization should, their development following predictable patterns. She couldn't know that her every thought was being monitored by quantum sensors that defied her understanding of physics. Couldn't detect the vast networks of human observation posts scattered throughout Federation space, hidden by technology that operated on principles the Meridians hadn't yet discovered. Back in the underwater facility, Maya accessed the quantum-encrypted Council channel. The faces of Earth's true leadership appeared, representatives from surface nations, undersea colonies, lunar cities, and Mars settlements. The Meridian delegation entered the UN General Assembly, where Ambassador Sarah Rodriguez, secretly president of the World Council, greeted them with carefully practiced awe. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her voice trembling slightly. We are honored by your presence." Commander Kex stepped forward, her crystalline form towering over the human representative. "We have watched your world for some time," she announced, her translation device converting her harmonic speech to Earth languages. "Your civilization shows promise, despite its current limitations. The Meridian Federation offers you protection and guidance." A holographic display materialized above the assembly, showing the Federation's vast territory. The human delegates gasped on cue, while quantum sensors analyzed every aspect of the supposedly impressive technology. "As a gesture of goodwill," Kex continued, "we offer you this gift." A device appeared in the center of the chamber, a power generator that would have amazed humanity 3 centuries ago. This single unit could power one of your largest cities. Ambassador Rodriguez approached the device with theatrical caution, while her quantum implants registered its primitive antimatter reactor design. "This is incredible," she stammered perfectly. "But surely such advanced technology comes with some conditions." In orbit, the hidden Meridian battle fleet moved closer, ready to ensure Earth's willing acceptance of Federation membership. Their sensors showed exactly what humanity wanted them to see: primitive satellites, basic space stations, and laughably simple defensive systems. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Maya activated the final phase of Protocol Omega-7. Throughout the solar system, quantum computers adjusted the massive illusion maintaining Earth's primitive appearance. The stage was set for the greatest revelation in galactic history. "Your world has great potential," Kex announced to the assembly. "Under our guidance, you could achieve in decades what might take centuries on your own. We ask only for your cooperation and certain resource rights in return." Ambassador Rodriguez glanced at her fellow delegates, playing her role perfectly. We will need time to discuss your generous offer. Our various nations must consult." "Of course," Kex replied, her tone carrying a subtle threat that every human in the room pretended not to notice. "We will return in 3 of your days for your answer. Choose wisely, for your species' future." As the Meridian delegation departed, Maya sent a quantum-encrypted message to every hidden human installation across the solar system. "Final positions. They'll return in force, expecting to find a primitive civilization ready for conquest. Instead, they'll learn why humanity chose to hide its true nature for so long." In distant orbit, the Meridian battle fleet's commanders reviewed their invasion plans, confident in their overwhelming technological superiority. They never detected the vast human armada surrounding them in quantum-shifted space, waiting for the perfect moment to spring the trap. The greatest deception in human history was about to reach its climax, and the galaxy would never be the same. The moment of truth. 3 days later, Commander Naira Kex stood on the bridge of the Eternal Light, watching Earth grow larger on the main display. Her mandibles clicked in anticipation as the hidden battle fleet moved into attack position around the planet. "No response from their world government," her second-in-command reported. "Their primitive communications show their nation still arguing over our offer." "As expected," Naira replied. "Initiate the demonstration protocol. Show them what happens to worlds that reject Federation guidance." 300 Meridian warships shimmered into view around Earth's orbit, their weapon systems charging for display. On the planet below, news channels broadcast the sight of alien ships filling the sky. "Exactly as planned. Disable their orbital satellites," Naira ordered. "Let them see how helpless they truly are." Energy beams lanced out from the Meridian fleet, targeting Earth's satellite network. But at the precise moment they fired, something impossible happened. The beams struck an invisible barrier and dissipated harmlessly. What? Naira's crystalline form vibrated with confusion. Scan that region of space. Before her crew could respond, a calm voice filled every communication channel on every Meridian ship. Commander Kex, Dr. Maya Patel's tone carried centuries of carefully controlled amusement. I'm afraid you've made a rather serious miscalculation. The space around the Meridian ships shimmered. Massive structures appeared, emerging from perfect quantum camouflage. Weapon platforms larger than cities, defense stations that dwarfed the largest Meridian vessels, and behind Earth's moon, rising like a mechanical leviathan, humanity's true fleet. The Meridians will proceed with their standard protocol, she reported. They'll send a small diplomatic fleet first, following their first contact guidelines, just as we've observed them doing with other civilizations over the past century. Perfect. Council President Sarah Rodriguez responded, her holographic form shimmering. Maintain the deception. Let them think they're the advanced civilization coming to guide a young species. When the time comes, they'll learn why humanity chose to hide its light. The council members nodded in agreement. Earth had discovered the Meridian Federation's existence 4 centuries ago, when the first quantum sensors detected their faster-than-light travel. Since then, humanity had carefully orchestrated its apparent development, presenting an image of peaceful unification while secretly preparing for the inevitable encounter. Maya turned her attention to the global defense grid's status display. Quantum shields surrounded the planet, invisible to conventional sensors. Swarms of autonomous defense platforms waited in dimensional pocket space. Every human city contained defensive systems that could repel any known form of attack. Begin the final preparation phase, she ordered. Maintain our peaceful, primitive appearance. Let them think their sensors are showing them everything. When they make their move, she smiled, thinking of the shock the Meridians would experience when they discovered the truth. In space, a Meridian scout ship passed what appeared to be a primitive communications satellite. Its sensors didn't detect the quantum core inside, didn't notice the advanced AI analyzing its every emission. Humanity watched and waited, ready to show the galaxy why appearances could be deceiving. The trap was set. Now they just had to wait for the Meridian Federation to spring it, never realizing that their role as teachers had been reversed long before they ever detected Earth. The hidden arsenal. The Meridian diplomatic vessel, Eternal Light, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, its crystalline hull refracting starlight in dazzling patterns. Commander Naira Kex stood on the bridge, watching the approach to the third planet with what she believed was well-concealed condescension. Begin standard first contact protocols, she ordered. Broadcast our arrival message on their primitive radio frequencies. Let's not overwhelm them with too much, too fast. As her crew complied, a message in multiple Earth languages echoed across what the Meridians perceived as humanity's rudimentary communication networks. People of Earth, we come in peace as representatives of the Meridian Federation. In her underwater command center, Dr. Maya Patel allowed herself a small smile as she monitored the transmission. Right on schedule, she muttered, watching quantum displays that showed the true position of every Meridian ship hidden beyond the solar system's edge. Their diplomatic vessel hadn't come alone. A battle fleet of 300 ships waited in stealth mode, ready to ensure Earth's peaceful integration into the Federation. Shall we maintain the charade? Dr. James Chen asked, his cybernetic eyes processing multiple data streams simultaneously. Maya nodded. Let them play their game. Activate Protocol Omega-7. Throughout the solar system, humanity's real defensive grid hummed to life, though in ways the Meridians couldn't detect. Quantum sensors disguised as space debris tracked every Meridian vessel. Weapon platforms hidden in dimensional pockets powered up their dark energy cannons. The moon's far side, appearing barren to Meridian scans, prepared its vast fleet of ships that made their visitors' technology look primitive by comparison. On Earth's surface, the planned performance began. World leaders gathered at the United Nations, putting on a show of nervous excitement. Military forces made a display of mobilizing, aircraft carriers sailing, fighters scrambling, all using carefully maintained 20th century technology as props in humanity's greatest deception. Commander Kex watched the planetary response with satisfaction. "Look how they scramble," she remarked to her second-in-command. "Such primitive defenses. They actually believed those chemical-powered aircraft could reach us." The Meridian diplomatic party descended through Earth's atmosphere in a shuttle, its hull gleaming with technological superiority. They landed outside the UN building in New York, emerging in environmental suits far more elaborate than necessary, another calculated display of advanced technology. Maya watched the proceedings through quantum feeds, monitoring the Meridian's every biosignature. "They're completely convinced," she reported to the Hidden World Council. "Their scans show exactly what we want them to see. A unified but primitive world, ripe for peaceful absorption into their federation." "Impossible." Naira's exoskeleton paled. "Their technology level. This is some kind of deception." "No deception, Commander," Maya replied. "Just patience. We detected your Federation's expansion 4 centuries ago. Since then, we've been preparing, advancing our technology in secret, while maintaining a carefully crafted primitive facade." On the Eternal Lights Bridge, warning signals screamed as the ship's sensors finally revealed the truth. Earth was surrounded by layered quantum shields far more advanced than anything in the Meridian arsenal. What they had thought were simple satellites were actually nodes in a vast defensive network. "Your invasion fleet is surrounded," Maya continued. "Your weapons cannot penetrate our shields. Your faster-than-light drives have been locked by our quantum fields. We are jamming your communications with your Federation. You have one chance to surrender." Pride overrode Naira's judgment. The Meridian Federation does not surrender to primitives. All ships, open fire. The Meridian fleet launched its full arsenal, planet-cracking weapons, antimatter torpedoes, quantum disruptors. Their most powerful weapons struck Earth's shields and faded like ripples in a pond. "As you wish," Maya's voice carried a note of finality. "Dr. Chen, you may proceed." Space itself seemed to twist. Dark energy beams lanced out from Earth's defensive grid, passing through Meridian shields as if they didn't exist. 20 ships vanished in the first second, 50 more in the next. Quantum torpedoes phased through hull plating, detonating inside engine cores. From her underwater command center, Maya watched through quantum feeds as humanity's defensive systems systematically dismantled the Meridian fleet. "This is the price of arrogance, Commander. 3 centuries of watching your Federation consume primitive worlds. We could have revealed ourselves at any time, but we wanted to be certain that you would never threaten another developing civilization." The last Meridian ship exploded in a burst of quantum energy, leaving only the eternal light intact. Earth's true fleet emerged from dimensional shift, thousands of ships that made the Meridian vessels look like toys. "Now, Commander," Maya's voice carried the weight of centuries, "let's discuss the terms of your Federation's surrender. Your leaders will want to hear about the primitive world that destroyed their finest fleet without losing a single ship." As Naira stared at the overwhelming power arrayed against her, the truth finally sank in. Her Federation hadn't been the hunter. They had been the prey all along. And now, the galaxy was about to change forever. In hidden bases across the solar system, humanity's real military forces stood down from full alert. The quantum shields remained active, but the weapon platforms powered down their dark energy cannons. The trap had sprung perfectly, and the first phase of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage was complete. Maya opened a quantum-encrypted channel to the World Council. "Phase 3 is ready to begin," she reported. "The Meridian Federation's leadership will soon learn that their empire of conquest is about to be transformed into something very different. The age of predator civilizations ends today." The stars seemed to shine a little brighter as humanity prepared to reshape the galaxy, not through conquest, but through the very deception that had protected Earth for so long. The real work was just beginning. Galactic ripples. The Meridian High Council chamber shook with another impact. Through the crystalline windows, First Speaker Thax watched as another defense platform fell from orbit, destroyed by weapons that seemed to ignore the laws of physics themselves. "Report," he demanded, his serpentine form coiled tight with tension. "How many systems have we lost?" A junior counselor's scales paled as she consulted her data feeds. 30 major systems in the last hour alone, First Speaker. The humans. They're not just defeating our forces. They're systematically dismantling our entire military infrastructure. The massive display at the chamber center showed the unthinkable, human ships appearing simultaneously at every major Meridian installation across 50 star systems. Their quantum drives made faster-than-light travel look primitive, allowing them to strike anywhere at will. "Impossible," Second Speaker Vren whispered, her feathered crest flat against her head. "How did we not see this? How did we miss a civilization this advanced?" The answer came as a holographic projection materialized in the center of the chamber. Dr. Maya Patel stood before them, her image carried by technologies the Meridians couldn't begin to understand. "You missed us," she said simply, "because we wanted you to miss us. For 4 centuries, we watched your Federation expand. We watched you subjugate primitive species. We watched you strip worlds of resources under the guise of protection. And we prepared." As she spoke, human ships across Meridian space began broadcasting. Not threats or demands, but evidence. Centuries of Federation atrocities, recorded by hidden quantum sensors that the Meridians had never detected. The broadcasts went everywhere, to every conquered world, every subjugated species, every corner of the Federation. "We could have stopped you centuries ago," Maya continued. "But we needed to understand the full scope of your actions. We needed evidence that even your own people couldn't deny. And we needed to be ready to protect those you've oppressed when the truth finally came out." In orbit around the Meridian homeworld, the human flagship Prometheus revealed itself. The vessel was the size of a small moon, powered by technologies that made Meridian science look like children's toys. Its quantum sensors could detect a single conversation from light years away. "Your Federation ends today," Maya declared, "but not through destruction. That would make us no better than you. Instead, we're going to help your victims rebuild. Every species you've conquered will be offered independence and protection under Earth's guidance." Thax watched helplessly as human ships across the Federation began dismantling their power structure. Their quantum technology easily bypassed every security system, every defense, every failsafe. Mining operations on conquered worlds shut down. Slave labor camps emptied. Subject species found themselves free, with human peacekeepers ensuring no retribution from Meridian forces. "We've had centuries to plan this," Maya explained. "We've prepared infrastructure, governments in exile, economic systems to prevent collapse. Unlike your Federation, we believe in lifting civilizations up, not grinding them down." In the council chamber, a junior member finally asked the question everyone feared: "What will happen to us?" Maya's expression softened slightly. "Your worlds will retain their independence, but under restrictions. Your military will be disbanded. Your technology will be limited until you demonstrate peaceful intentions, and you will pay reparations to the worlds you've destroyed, not in resources or money, but in aid and assistance, helping rebuild what you once tore down." As if to demonstrate their complete control, the humans activated their final surprise. Quantum fields across Meridian space permanently disabled their warship's weapons and faster-than-light drives. "A new age begins today," Maya concluded. "Earth will help establish a federation of free worlds, where every species can develop without fear of conquest. Your empire's fall will mark the rise of something better, a galactic community based on cooperation rather than subjugation." The first speaker, looking at the irrefutable evidence of his Federation's crimes, finally understood. Earth hadn't just defeated them militarily, they had outmaneuvered them completely. The humans had spent centuries building not just weapons, but solutions. Across the Federation, former slave species watched in amazement as their oppressors' power crumbled. But where they expected violence and revenge, they found something else. Human peacekeepers appeared everywhere, preventing bloodshed, ensuring orderly transitions of power. The Age of Empires was over. The Age of Humanity had begun. Dawn of a new era. 5 years after the fall of the Meridian Federation, Earth hosted the first galactic assembly of free worlds. The massive structure, built in orbit above the planet, hummed with the voices of 1,000 species. Quantum architecture adapted to each delegate's biological needs, making the impossible seem effortless. Dr. Maya Patel stood at the observation deck, watching representatives from formerly subjugated worlds file into the Grand Chamber. Her quantum implants processed streams of data from across the galaxy, monitoring the unprecedented transformation taking place. "Progress report," she requested softly. Dr. James Chen materialized beside her, his holographic form indistinguishable from reality. "The rehabilitation of former Meridian space exceeds our most optimistic projections. 97% of enslaved populations have been freed. 83% of stripped worlds show significant ecological recovery." Below them, a delegate from a former mining world took the podium. Their crystalline form, once broken by generations of forced labor, now shone with restored dignity. "With human guidance, we have transformed our asteroid belt from depleted mines into manufacturing centers. Our children will never know the chains our parents wore." Commander Naira Kex, now serving as a junior rehabilitation coordinator, watched from the observer's gallery. The past 5 years had transformed her as much as they had transformed the galaxy. Every Meridian now served mandatory terms, helping rebuild the worlds their Federation had destroyed. "I never understood," she confided to Maya during a recess. "We thought we were bringing order to the galaxy. We never realized we were the chaos." Maya's response was gentle but firm. "Understanding that is the first step toward redemption. Your people's knowledge, freed from the drive for conquest, has value. You're learning to build rather than destroy." The changes went far beyond politics. Humanity had begun carefully sharing their technology, but with safeguards and ethics protocols built in. Quantum healing centers cured diseases that had plagued alien species for millennia. Sustainable energy systems ended resource wars. Advanced agricultural techniques eliminated famine. "We've detected another developing civilization," James reported during an executive session. "Pre-spaceflight, showing promising signs of unity. They've begun receiving radio signals from nearby worlds." "Establish the usual quarantine zone," Maya ordered. "Silent observation only. Let them develop naturally, but ensure no one interferes. We'll be the guardians we wished we had." The assembly reconvened to discuss the next phase of galactic reconstruction. Trade routes once used for resource exploitation now carried aid and cultural exchange. Former slave soldiers became peacekeepers, their weapons replaced with tools for building. But humanity's greatest achievement wasn't technological. It was philosophical. They had proven that advancement didn't require conquest, that power didn't demand domination. Earth's example showed that a civilization could be both mighty and merciful. "The galaxy stands at a crossroads," Maya addressed the assembly. "The Age of Empires is over, but our work is just beginning. Each of your species brings unique perspectives, unique solutions. Together, we can build something unprecedented, a true community of worlds." As she spoke, quantum sensors at the edge of known space detected signals from other galactic civilizations, drawn by news of the Meridian Federation's transformation. Some came with peaceful intentions, others perhaps hoping to fill the power vacuum. But they all found the same thing: a protected region of space where advancement meant cooperation, not conquest. "We hid our light for centuries," Maya concluded, watching the endless stream of stars through the assembly's quantum windows. Now we step forward not as conquerors or rulers, but as guides. The stars belong to all of us, and together we will make them shine brighter than ever. In orbit, the Prometheus maintained its vigilant watch, but its quantum weapons were silent. Its vast power turned to creation rather than destruction. Human ships patrolled trade routes not to control them, but to keep them free. Research stations studied the mysteries of the universe not for military advantage, but for the benefit of all. The Meridian Federation had sought to rule the galaxy through force. Instead, they had inadvertently helped create something far more powerful, a federation of free worlds, protected by humans who had learned through centuries of patience that true strength lies not in the power to destroy, but in the wisdom to protect and nurture. A new age had dawned, and its light would reach far beyond the stars themselves.